So I just wanted to go ahead and take some time and talk about like the materials that we're going to be using for our project. So especially we're going to try to keep it kind of light when we're working with it because I mean you're going to want some weight in the base of course so that the entire thing doesn't topple over, but you also want to keep the arm, like the part that actually pivots and moves with the claw, you want that to be kind of lighter so that it doesn't fully just tip over while it's working. So what our plan is we will have the base, and likely what we're gonna do is take some high infill 3D prints, or potentially, like I might create a little hole in one of the weights and then just fill it with like sand or something, and then maybe like print a plug that can go in there, or or we'll see how far we get with the just full infill pit bits and see if that weighs it down enough. The next thing that I wanted to try was I would like to buy some TPU, and that's just a filament that's a little more rubbery than like usual PLA, and I would like to put that on the little outward stabilizers that we're going to have on our base, just so that it doesn't slip around so much while it's working, and just keeps it kind of in one place. And then also, I would like to print some grips that go kind of on the claws so that it grips the wood a little better while it's picking up and moving it. And then probably from there, the rest will be from PLA that's probably 40-ish infill, just enough that it's not going to crack under pressure, but it's still going to be light enough to move around decently quickly and be moved by the servos. So,
All right. So for the on-shape model this week, we primarily worked on working out like the gear mechanisms for everything. We revised the base and we changed the thickness of our two arms. So first up is for the base. We originally want it to be circular, just for it to be like just for like it to have a nicer look and aesthetic. However, we realized that it was probably better to have a rectangular base, specifically one where the length of it is a lot longer, where the length is bigger than the width of it. Like, yes, we will have weight on the base in order to prevent it from tipping over, but we also don't want weight to be the only thing that's keeping it from tipping over. We want it to have that natural balance with the long rectangular base. So that's one change we did. Another change we did, or another thing we're starting to work on, is the gear mechanisms in Onshape. We recently figured out how to do the gear, like how to mate everything all together and make sure we're able to make sure it's able to interlock and work together seamlessly on Onshape. However, I think currently, either right now or over the weekend, we have a 3D print going on that makes sure that these gears, when we 3D print them, work in real life. And that's really it for the most part. Hopefully, we'll have a clip or like a picture or something that shows like each of like the on-shape parts that are happening. And in addition to that, we changed the shape of our two arms on our model. Originally, we went for this like thicker base, thinner top kind of like shape for the arm, and that was just because again we wanted all the weight, or we wanted the most strength of like the material to be all at like near the bottom of the Arduino arm. However, we started to think like kind of similar to our arms, like we like this the weight should be distributed everywhere during the use of the on-shape model. And like in the case of like, oh, it needing to be lifted up, or it like picking something up or putting back something down, is when we need to make sure that the shift in weight works in keeping that balance. And so we kind of use the concept of like what bones look like, where it's thicker at the joints but a little bit skinnier in the middle. We use that concept to make sure that we're still using like as less material as possible, while making sure our design is still like structurally sound. And so that's really it for the most part. Thank you.